Okay, take one. Here we go. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for watching the previous video. Got so much love for it. Thank you guys for also interacting with it, leaving that thumbs up in the comments down below as well. And we are back with another exciting video. If you're new here, my name is Jabulile Moketsi, and I started this YouTube channel a week ago to introduce you all to what I call is the locker room. Essentially, where we talk all things sports and everything that has happened within this past weekend. And this past weekend was no different for the previous weekend with all the sports that happened. I mean, I'm just looking at my notes now. We got UFC 324, we had Premier League, we had AFC Championship, and we had the NFC Championship as well. I mean, we got so much to talk about. But before you step into the locker room, I would just like to say, please like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that post notifications so that you are notified whenever I upload a video. Thank you so much. Grab your snacks, grab your popcorn, grab whatever you need, and step into the locker room and let's discuss. First and foremost, we are gonna start with the first big event that happened this week, which was the UFC 324, and this event was a start of a new chapter with UFC and Paramount Plus. They signed a new deal. This was the first big event under its new $7.7 billion broadcast deal, which absolutely smashed viewership records on Paramount and across all social media platforms. I mean, this card was just the main event. I mean, the main card. It was just an absolute delight to watch. And I think, in my opinion, this weekend was just so beautiful as to be a part of as a sporting fan. First and foremost, we're going to get started with the main event, which was Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett. This was an absolute banger of a match of a fight to watch, because both fighters did not hold back. I mean, Justin Gaethje came into the first few minutes and he just absolutely went at Paddy the Baddy and giving him the fight that I don't think Paddy Pimblett was ready for. And ultimately, at the end of the day, Justin Gaethje landed those all essential hits to eventually win in unanimous decision. This was an action-packed fight, brutal as it was. I think that's what the sport is. UFC, essentially, at the end of the day, it's a brutal sport. It's I basically call it a legalized street fight. It's two fighters going at it to just win. I mean, it was fight night on this, and Justin Gaethje, at the end of the day, ended up walking out with that interim lightweight championship at the end of the night, which, you know, it could have gone either way with these fighters landing huge blows on one another. Paddy landing that huge blow towards the end of the fifth round. I mean, this fight went the full length from first to fifth. They were just going at it one another, and I watched this fight on that day, and I felt like towards the end, I kind of got an idea of who was gonna win and which was Justin Gaethje at the end of the day. The main card was Sean O'Malley, who defeated Sun Yang Dong in unanimous decision for the bantamweight division. Waldo Cortez Acosta defeats Derek Lewis TKO. Natalia Silva defeats Rose. Unanimous decision. Arnold defeats Gene Silva, unanimous decision. I mean, whew. And this weekend is going to be no different for the title fight between Alex Volkanovski and Diego Lopez. The first fight went to the way of Alex Volkanovski, which was, a lot of people were surprised by it, because Volkanovski had just came off back-to-back losses before he went into the Diego Lopez, and People thought that a much younger Diego Lopez would come in and dominate the fight, but Volkanovski did not listen to those critics, did not pay attention to what people were saying, because at the end of the day, when you are in that arena or you're in that fight, you're essentially not only fighting for yourself, you're fighting for your dignity, fighting for your reputation. And he came out there guns swinging, did not give Diego Lopez a moment's break at all. Like, he was onto him the whole time in that fight, and Lopez did push back too. He did manage to go back at him and give him a few good hits as well. It pushed him to the absolute limits, but it went the way of Alex Volkanovski. And the second fight I think it will be the exact same way, where both fighters are gonna end up fighting till the absolute limit. It's gonna go the full length of the both fights, and I think for me, Diego Lopez is gonna come in and understand what the assignment that he needs to do, as now he has a better understanding of what kind of a fighter Alex Volkanovski is. He now will go into this fight, and I 100% think that Diego Lopez will come out there as the new champion that evening. That was quite an exciting card, to be fair, for 324, and this weekend is 325, and Diego Lopez will come up with it. Another wonderful thing that happened this weekend, right? Listen, I'm a Chelsea supporter. When it comes to Premier League teams, I know them, and for me, the best team in the world is Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea. I mean, I don't have to say it. The titles say we're better. The FIFA Club World Cup says we are the best team in the world. And we beat the best team in the world at that time, which was PSG. PSG had just came off a Champions League victory. They had just came off winning the league title in France. And going into this and going into the FIFA Club World Cup, they were favorites with Real Madrid there and Man City there. But we, as Chelsea, came out notorious, and we're going to be world champions for the next 4 years. So now, the game of the week, right? It was Arsenal against Manchester United. When I look at this game, it was just vintage football at its finest, and we haven't had these kind of thriller games in quite a long time, where it was such high stakes. Manchester United essentially came into this game with a chip on their shoulder, because they had just lost their manager in Ruben Amorim. Ruben Amorim, he just inherited a team that had already had so many, I wouldn't say, he inherited a team that was already bad as is, that Manchester United side, and that already had problems within. And he just was unfortunate because there was nothing much he could do about it. He already found a mess, tried to fix it, and he couldn't do much about it. Ruben Amorim, coming from Sporting, having so much success within Portugal, that he hopefully wanted to bring his winning ways to Manchester United. Did not work out, and now Manchester United have hired Michael Carrick as the interim manager, which I think was the smartest move for them, in such a sense that he was a club captain. He knows the Manchester United way of, especially with that experience that he's had from being coached by Sir Alex Ferguson, who had brought Manchester United, they call it the glory days, when he managed, because every season he went with a trophy, he won a trophy, and he set the standard so high that most managers cannot compete with that, in such a sense that every manager that comes after Alex Ferguson will always be measured by the stick of Alex Ferguson. Okay, Alex Ferguson managed to achieve this much success with this amount of players, And in my opinion, it's not fair on any coach, and it shouldn't be any fair on any other coach that they should be measured on that kind of stick. But back to the game. Um, the final score was Arsenal 2, Manchester United 3, and it started off with an own goal by Lisandro Martinez. Nothing much he could do there. But then, in typical Manchester United side, their main man in Brian Mbeumo scored the all essential equalizers that took them into the off. That took them into the half 1-1. And I think Brian Mbeumo has just been a good striker that they needed for quite the longest of time. I think the main question was, do they have a finisher? And they do, which is Brian Mbeumo. And during the summer transfer window, when there was a lot of rumors and speculations about Arsenal's current striker, Victor Gyökeres, who was wanted by all top teams in Europe. Manchester United was in the race. I heard some point Real Madrid was in the race. It was Chelsea, it was Manchester City, it was so many teams that were in the race for his signature that Arsenal eventually ended up getting his signature at the end of the day. But in that, Manchester United losing their top player in Gyökeres, they managed to get Brian Mbeumo, who has not disappointed. He has delivered on every account. And the second half was no different. They did not hold back. They just basically continued that same momentum from the first half. And the player in Patrick Doku. Patrick Doku, academy product, what a goal that he scored. Let me tell you that the goal that he scored was nothing less spectacular. And unfortunately, he sustained an injury. He came out after the game that he'll be out for 10 weeks, which is another huge blow, especially for a youngster of his caliber. But Arsenal are not a side that goes down easily. They managed to get back that equalizer with Mikel Merino. And a few minutes later, Mateus Cunha found the back of the net to be able to make it 3-2. And it was just something about that moment that made me so nostalgic to the point whereby I remember in the 2017 season where Jesse Lingard scored and then he hit the Millie Rock and the corner flag, and it was just so nostalgic when I saw Mateus Cunha do that surf celebration, and it was just like, oh my days, this is vintage United. They starting to find their groove back, and it kind of speaks to the confidence that this newfound confidence that this Manchester United squad has found. I mean, looking back at it, Jesse Lingard scored a brace in that 3-1 victory over them where he hit the Millie Rock. And then in January 2019, in the FA Cup, where he did the moonwalk celebration at the Emirates. So it goes to show that somebody on social media said that Manchester United see the Emirates as a nightclub or something like that. But, it's vintage football. But the title race has become even much more closer. I'm gonna put up the table, the Premier League table, somewhere on your screen. It should be somewhere on your screen, but first should be Arsenal, second is Man City, third is Aston Villa, and that win got them into fourth place. But the Premier League is more wide open than it has ever been right now, because this is when the season really starts. Second half of the season is crunch time, where teams are they had the winter transfer window where they're getting the essential pieces that they needed, and teams it's counting down. Between first and second is 4 points. Second and third, Manchester City is on top by goal difference. And then Manchester United is in the Champions League position by 38. Chelsea is right behind them with 37 points. So the title race is wide open. Anybody can get the title at the end of the season. And for me, as a Chelsea supporter, I wouldn't want to see Arsenal winning the league. So my next best pick is Manchester. I hope Manchester City genuinely win this trophy, especially to make a statement of the fact that last season Pep Guardiola and that side were faced under a lot of criticism that the dynasty had eventually ended, but in actual fact, this Manchester United team has got what it takes to finish off this title race, especially of the this weekend they won 2-0 against Wolves, which was needed to boost their title hopes. And side has fumbled the league so many times as far as I can remember when Aaron Ramsdale was still their goalkeeper. Then they moved on to David Raya in post. I mean, this team folds under pressure. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Chelsea supporter. I'm saying that because I've seen it happen so many times. Right now, they are top in all competitions. If you Champions League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, they are doing so well in all of those competitions. But the one thing that I know about this Arsenal side, they always fold when it comes to pressure. Pressure is their worst enemy. Pressure either makes diamonds or it bursts pipes. When it comes to this Arsenal side, it breaks pipes. And I've seen it time and time again. They will fumble this league and Manchester City will win it. Every year, they have been top of the table before Christmas. Before Christmas, they were always top of the table. After Christmas, they were no longer on top of the table. So this Arsenal side have yet to prove themselves why they are title contenders. Patrice Evra said it the best. With Arsenal, it's like Arsenal and Netflix have got the same thing in common. You're always waiting for next season. So let me move on to the AFC Championship. The AFC Championship was more of a defensive masterclass than it was of an offensive game because the Patriots won 10-7. I'll put up the score somewhere on top here, marking that this is the 12th time that these guys go to the Super Bowl. The Patriots, congratulations to the Patriots, by the way, on winning that game. The Broncos struggled offensively, in my opinion, because they didn't have their star quarterback. And yeah, Jarrett Stidham did the best that he could because the last time he started was over 2 years ago. He has not played meaningful football since 2023. I don't know what you were expecting from a guy who has played meaningful football. Last time he played meaningful football was in 2023. Remember, as a player, you can get practice squad reps or practice reps are not the same as game reps. When you consistently put in game situations or you're playing, you become, like a car. If you don't use your car that often, it tends to rust up and it no longer moves the same way it was. That's kind of the same way a player is. If you don't use a player that often, he's not sharp. He's not moving around as mobile as he used to. And it showed this game, it clearly worked against him because he started off hot. Jarrett Stidham with I think it was a 56-yard pass that eventually ended up being the touchdown and the first and the last touchdown of the game. And yeah, that was quite hard to watch. It was a 52-yard completion, my mistake, to finish off this game. Broncos offensively were just in shambles. Injuries played a huge part of it. Okay, going back to the NFC Championship, this was an absolute exciting game between the Seahawks and the Los Angeles Rams. I think both of these teams are just two teams that were firing on cylinders, but the Seahawks side is just so good. In my opinion, Sam Darnold at the helm, absolute clinical. I'm looking at his stats right now. I'm going to put it somewhere up on the screen. But Sam Darnold completed 25 of his 36 passes for 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He played through an oblique injury. I mean, talk about a guy who does not know no quit, especially of the fact that considering where his career was almost like 2 or 3 years ago compared to now, he has made an absolute turnaround. And he is the first quarterback in his 2018 class to go to the Super Bowl. Imagine, right? Let me put this into perspective. These are the quarterbacks that were in his 2018 class. 2 of them is Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. Those were the 2 quarterbacks in his draft class. And he's the first USC quarterback to make the Super Bowl. That goes to show how much of a grit and the intensity that he plays at. And the other quarterback, Matthew Stafford, he did not disappoint either. I mean, both of these guys had 0 interceptions, by the way. None of them threw any interceptions, which was Matthew Stafford was 22 out of 35 for 374 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. I mean, he nearly led them to a comeback towards the end of the 4th quarter, but the Seattle Seahawks defense has been a defense that has just been good. But the question still remains is, can Sam Darnold perform for just one more game? Even though he's going through that oblique injury, him and Drew Lock have been exchanging, they've been taking reps at quarterback 1, especially with Sam Darnold questionable, but can he play at the same level that he's been playing at? And I think my answer is yes, he can play for one more game. And my prediction for the Super Bowl will be Seahawks win. And the Seahawks, this is the first time in 11 years since that infamous interception that Russell Wilson threw at the 1-yard line, which begged the question was, you're at the 1-yard line, why not run the ball? You have Marshawn Lynch in the backfield. We don't know the answer to that till this day. Maybe there is, I don't know. But this is a redemption for not only them, but for their organization to, get that Lombardi trophy in Seattle. So I'm taking the Seattle side to win. Even the only thing that separates these 2 sides is experience and the momentum that they have going into these games. So for me, it's Seattle. Well, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Please interact with me. If you're on Instagram, TikTok, whatever, leave a comment down below. Leave a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that post notifications that you are notified whenever I upload a video. My people in them, love and guidance.